Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Afternoons with Pastor Paul. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing quite well. Today's quite a hot day, isn't it? I thought we were in the middle of summer somehow, but it's still February. So, anywho, I hope you guys are doing well. Good to see you there. I see we have Ben and Leanne and Jesse, and we have Ein and Matthew. Welcome, guys. Okay, without further ado, here is today's host, as always, Pastor Paul. All right, what is up, guys? Welcome. Welcome. How are you guys doing today? Just as Dog Nutter was saying, it's pretty hot out there, right? I was like, man, what's going on with this weather? It's like kind of bipolar weather a little bit. One day is kind of cold and rainy, and then the next day is hot. Like today, didn't really even need a jacket outside, so it's a nice 75 degrees out there, actually. So it's looking pretty nice, and the forecast, not that you guys asked, but just in case you want to know, it's going to be sunny all week, but it'll be increasingly getting a bit cooler every day. By Sunday, it'll be 61. That's not bad at all. So a very nice sunny week ahead for us. And so I hope you guys are getting that vitamin D. You need vitamin D from the sun. It's one of the only places to get vitamin D. And vitamin D, if you didn't know, it helps you, it helps with your mood. And so if you're kind of feeling a little down, if you're feeling a little lonely, a little depressed, a little bit sad, try going outside for even just 20 minutes and see how that will perk you up. For me, it actually works a lot. When I don't go outside, there's a day like, it's sunny, or if it's not sunny and I don't go outside, I do feel the difference. So just want to encourage you guys, get out there. Okay. All right. Well, good to see you guys. Thanks for coming to the show today. Today's gonna be a little bit different. So let me head over to my desk and I will tell you what we're gonna be doing. So here we go. Boom. Oh, that wasn't as quick as I wanted it to be, but that's okay. That's okay, producers. You guys are working on your timing. I didn't prep you for that one, so that's okay. And so today's sponsor, guys, it is Sprite I almost said Giro. You know how Korean people, Korean second language speakers, they have a hard time sometimes saying a Z. So I almost did that just now. I almost said Sprite Zero Sugar. Zero sugar. Thanks for sponsoring us, Coca-Cola Company. This is not a bad drink. I mean, it's not necessarily good for you, but they don't pay me to say that. But they don't pay me at all, actually. So I guess I can say what I want about Coke Zero, or a Sprite Zero in this case. Anyway, guys. So I don't know if you've been following the news. I don't know who here reads magazines. Does anyone read magazines? I feel like your guys' age group, you guys don't read magazines anymore. I didn't really read too many growing up, but I read some. The magazines that I would read, for the most part, were like gaming magazines, like Nintendo Power and PC Mag, or I don't know, something else. I can't remember. What other kind of magazines did I like? Mad Magazine for a little bit. It's funny sometimes. It was funny sometimes. I don't recommend it, but anyway, so I was in a magazine recently, and so I wanted to show you guys. Here's People Magazine. They did an exclusive interview with me, and I made the time to do that. I was like, I'm really busy, guys, and I know this is going to take some of my time. And so anyway, there's that. But as you can see, People Magazine, they covered that I'm getting married this Saturday. This is a joke, by the way, guys. I'm getting married on not this part. I am getting married this Saturday. I'd love to see all of you guys come to the wedding. Every single one of you guys can come. The link for that, I will paste it in right here, or one of the producers rather is going to paste it in right here. This is how you guys get to my Zoom link for the day. And so I really want to see you guys come. There's no guarantee I'll actually see your face on the day, but what's going to happen is from where I'm going to be standing in the front. Well, most of the time my back is actually going to be to the people behind, but for some portion of it, I'll be able to kind of look back and look at the audience and the people. And there's going to be 2 screens at least set up with all of the people who are on Zoom. And so that would be a really nice thing if I could see some of you guys. Like, I really mean that. It would go from, like, my wedding's already a great blessing to it's a super blessing. It's an amazing thing if I get to see you guys. Okay. You probably don't need the password anymore. I think I went ahead and turned it off because I realized for some people, once they really need it, if they can't get to it because they don't remember what the password was or whatever, and then they're kind of locked out of the Zoom. I don't want that to happen. I think at this point I've done my best to, a lot of paparazzi wanted to get in there, and we've done our best to keep the paparazzi away, but there's no guarantee, and so I'm just gonna pray and hope that everything will be okay, making it public. But anyway, so yeah, here I am on People Magazine, and yeah, if you want to read about that, it's an exclusive edition. So it might be really hard to find this article, but it's out there somewhere in the wild. But okay, so today is going to be a little bit of a different day just because it is my wedding week, and so it's going to be a little bit shorter today. But what I wanted to do, instead of bringing on a guest today, something I've been wanting to do with you guys is have a time of this question and answer time. So if you've been having some burning questions, like I know, the paparazzi and the press, they've been like all over me, just like every day I come out of the house, there's cameras, and I just, could hardly get to my car, it's just kind of crazy. But for you guys, I will make time for questions. It doesn't have to be about my life. It can be about anything at all. It can be about the Bible, it can be about Christian living, it can be about something going on in the world. How should we respond to that? Yeah, we don't have a ton of time, but I want you to ask any questions you might have today. And that's really how we're going to spend like the next 20 minutes or so. And so, yeah, fire away with those questions. If you have any questions about Sprite, I can't say much, except it just tastes a little bit different than Diet Sprite. Is there a Diet Sprite? I know there's a Diet 7-Up. It just tastes like Diet 7-Up. Basically, don't recommend it because there's an ingredient in here called aspartame, and that's what sweetens it. It's not a natural ingredient, it's a chemical, and I drink too much of it, so I'm a living kind of guinea pig of a lot of aspartame intake. So we'll see how I'm doing in like 20 years from now. But anyway, producers, let's put Nightbot to sleep. I think he's feeling a little lonely, but sorry, Nightbot, your place for us is really only on Sundays. So let's go. We're gonna go ahead and turn off Nightbot here. But any questions you guys have, anything at all, it could be personal questions about me or anything. It could be theology, a Bible question, advice. I've got a lot of advice. So anything you got, let me know. Love to have your questions today. All right. So shoot them on over. I'm ready for you guys. I got my Sprite Zero, and it has how many milligrams of caffeine in it? Actually, no caffeine, right? Caffeine free? Is it caffeine free? I think it's caffeine free. Yeah, 0 caffeine. So that's pretty good. Okay, so Justin's coming out of the gate with a pretty pretty hot and tough question. I will give you a short answer, Justin, just because I could honestly spend a long time on this. And I did think about whether or not I should address that on Sunday, and I still might at some point, just because he is someone that quite a few of you guys are familiar with. And so, anyways, just in short, for anyone who does not know who Ravi Zacharias is, he was a very famous Christian apologist. I would say one of the best modern ones. An apologist is someone who defends the faith. They're typically someone who does a lot of teaching. That's like their main ministry. And people will ask them questions like, if God is so good, why does he allow bad things to happen? And so on, or like, what is the difference? What's the fundamental difference between Christianity and every other religion in the world? And so someone like Ravi was the person you would ask such questions to. And so he was a really gifted apologist, as I said, in modern times, probably one of the most gifted. So very well respected. He'd been around a long time, many books, many conferences, and so on. In short, it came out that he had been involved on numerous occasions with numerous women, some kind of sexual harassment. And I don't know all the details. You can read the report. You can look it up. There was some allegation of even rape. Okay. Now, sorry to make things really serious on the show today, but yeah, I want to be clear with the information. And so, how do I feel about that, and how do we respond? Well, how do I feel? I was very disappointed. I had been looking up to Ravi for a long time, as someone I very much respected in the public Christian sphere. And to see someone like him fall, it made me really surprised. Like, there's kind of a type, and that's really sad to say. But there's usually a type of person that when they fall, I'm not extremely surprised. But with Ravi, I was very surprised. And with everything that's come out, it's as though he was leading a double life. He's a very different person in public, and he was a very different person behind closed doors in his private life. And so how do we respond? I'll give you two things to think about. Number one, when someone like Ravi does sinful and evil things, and yet has a very, I'll just put it in short, a very needed ministry to teach people and educate Christians and help us to defend the faith. Does it cancel out their work? My short answer is no, it doesn't. But it still doesn't cancel out their work, but it does give us reason to not just blindly look at someone's life just because they preach really well or they give really good answers, they're really knowledgeable. That doesn't make them a good person. No one is good apart from Christ. No one is good unless we have God working in us and through us. And was that happening in Ravi's life? I would still say yes. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that other than yes. I do believe God was still using him. Now, where is Ravi's punishment for what he's done? I don't know how to answer that in short. If he was a true believer, he still will be in heaven. I do believe his punishment, in essence, other than the punishment that was laid on Christ already and satisfied in Christ, is all the aftermath now, the hurt that he's done to his family and so on. And, they didn't know about it until now. And so that's my short answer. There's a lot more I could say, but I would just say, in this case, yes, you can believe what's out there. It's been well researched and investigated and documented. Pray for his family, pray for the victims. And that's the best I can leave it with. Leave it. You know what I mean. That's where I'm going to leave that one. Okay, but good question. And if you guys want to talk more about that one, what do we do when Christians fall and prominent pastors and leaders fall and so on? I'd love to talk more about that. I'm still developing even my own thoughts about it, but I'd love to still talk about it. All right, what is something you regret? That's a really good question, Jesse. Now, the way I frame things in my mind is I try to not regret anything. Um, Now, is that biblical? In my understanding of the Bible, in essence, it is. It's my personal take on like when I make a mistake, should I regret it? To a degree, I really don't think I should. Should I, if I did something evil, should I repent of it? Yes. But regret usually is also kind of linked with shame and guilt, right? And to a degree, those things are good. But when it's kind of something that you're always hold on to, like I will always regret that um, that I hurt my friend. Um, I'm not sure. Like when most people say that, they typically are still feeling guilty about what they did, even if they've already repented of it. They even sought reconciliation with their friend. They'll hold on to that regret for many, many years. And so if that's like the way you're asking it, then I would say I don't regret anything, and I try not to. But if it's more something I wish I could have done differently, that kind of seems like the same thing, but as I said, that's the way I frame it in my mind, in my personal take. Um, let's see. I guess high school. High school would be just like how I was in high school. After I became a Christian, I walked pretty faithfully with the Lord for like a good year. Not the tires, but a good year. And then maybe about a year later, I started to backslide, and the person I was in high school as a junior and senior, I'm not very proud of who I was. Not to say we should be proud of ourselves, but I wasn't. I wish I could have done things differently. I wish I could have been like some of you guys. You're trying to reach your classmates for Christ. You're trying to be a salt and light where you are, and I don't think I did that in high school anyway. I did that later, like right after high school almost, but not in high school. And so that's my answer to your question, Jesse. I think it's a great question. All right, any other questions, guys? Keep them coming. I'll take maybe two more or so, depending on how deep of a question it is. Okay, so any point, throw me a question. Okay, there's another great question from Justin. How do you remember Jesus throughout your day, almost every moment? That's a really good question because that connects pretty well. Oh, I missed Leanne's question? Okay, I'll go back to that. Thank you, Justin. I essentially preached on that this past Sunday, right? To fix our eyes on Christ and to remember Him, to honor Him in all that we do, to glorify Him. Now, how do we do that? I would say, okay, is it 100% possible? Probably not. Probably not. Like in theory, yes, but because we have sinful flesh, that's what we're battling against. Okay, and so it's a goal. It's a goal, and we want to work as hard as we can to get as close to that goal as possible in this life. Now, when we're in heaven, we're gonna be face to face with Jesus Christ, and we're gonna be in His presence, and so it will essentially be impossible to not be focused on Him, right? And so, what are some things that I personally do? It's really what I preached about on Sunday. I do stop and ask myself that question: is this really what God wants? I didn't always ask that question, but there came a point in my life where I realized, shouldn't I ask God about these things? Like before I make a decision with anything, like anything important, anything. I mean, I don't tend to ask Him about the very unimportant things, like what should I eat today, right? Well, unless I'm like not doing very well with my eating, then I might ask Him that. But for the normal day-to-day stuff, I don't really ask. But it's like, should I spend this much money on this? Should I go to this place? Should I reach out to this person? This person needs my help. Should I help them today? Or how should I help them? Things like that. So always asking the question, is this God, what do you want? Will this glorify you? How can I make you happy with this thing, whatever it might be? And so that's the thing that I do the most, that's most helpful, because when you ask that question, it just helps you to stay focused. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing this for God. Oh yeah, this interaction right now, yes, it's between me and a friend, but it's also for God. And it's mainly for God, really. It's mainly for God, but secondarily, it's between me and this person, right? And so if that's the main thing, like this is for God, then I need to make sure I'm going to glorify God in this conversation and so on. And that's really, really hard, but it's the question I ask the most that helps me to remember Him and gets me in that mode of wanting to honor Him. Okay, so I'll go back to Leanne's question. What are 3 things on your bucket list? Wow. That's a tough thing. Because another way that I think in my life is I truly believe whatever I'm doing today is what I'm supposed to be doing in my life, and so there's nothing I want to do really that I'm not already doing. In short, okay, I don't know, that's not a very fun answer, so I'll give you a more fun answer. So if there would be things that I would have on a bucket list, number 1 would probably be to meet my family. I've never met really any of my Korean family members. I've been to Korea twice now, but both of those trips have been very short and focused on just my fiance and just our relationship. And so I never had time to meet my Korean family members. So that'd be number 1. Number 2 would be, I'll go with, I guess, yeah. I mean, I want to evangelize more and again to my family members. Like that's kind of a bucket list thing. That's kind of just a life mission thing. A really much more fun one, maybe. Not that those aren't fun. Would be, let's see. Yeah, I think out of all the places in the world that I haven't been to yet, which is a lot of places actually, I've only been to Korea, Canada, and the United States. I think I'd want to visit just Europe in general. That's a pretty big one, but Europe in general, because I want to go to London and France, and I want to go to Italy, various places in Italy. So there you go. Great question. All right, Kristen, what's a food you haven't mentioned before that you hate? Ooh, a food that I haven't mentioned before that I hate. Maybe just I'll try to go with something that's pretty common that maybe some of you guys like even. Other than things I'm allergic to, so which is a lot of stuff. So just something I hate that I'm not allergic to. Oh, that's a really tough one. Okay, come on, brain. Something I hate that I'm not allergic to. Okay, I'd probably go with, there's a couple dishes, Korean dishes. Okay, one would be, I don't know if hate's probably too strong, but I'll just go with hate. One would be sundae. So sundae is a blood sausage. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've tried it. Actually, the taste now at this point in my life, it's not that bad, but it's the thought of it. And because I got really sick the first time I tried it, because of the thought and the psychology of it, which isn't that bad actually. I just felt really sick, and so I don't like sundae. I don't really. I can eat a couple pieces of it. I really don't care for samgyeopsal. I'm not very good with pork, other than like hot dogs and sausages, and for Korean stuff like just teji gogi, like just spicy pork. Yeah. All right. Here's another question. Maybe this might be the last. If someone fits in one more, I'll do one more. Okay. If God told you to be a missionary, where would you go? That's a great question. Because I feel like He would also tell me where to go. But if He said, okay, you got to be a missionary today, and I want you to just like choose your mission field and go. It'd be hard to pick one because I haven't been to many places. Like as a mission on missions, I've really only been to Mexico, and I've done Mormon missions in Utah. I haven't even done Native American missions. That's more local. I mean, we did Fresno. I don't know if I consider that missions. Like maybe it's missions. So I'd probably choose Mexico because I've been there, so I know the people, and I love the Mexican people there in Mexico. I would probably choose maybe somewhere like the Philippines, or I mean, so many different places in Asia in general, like China, any of those, to be honest. And third would probably be maybe somewhere French speaking, since I do know some French. That might come in handy. Could be somewhere in Africa, or even some places in Vietnam. They speak French. So yeah, I think that's what I would choose. Justin said, like while school, I am not thinking a lot about God, but I spend time with God a lot in the morning and night. That's great. And I think the shift you want to make in your Christian life is like we do want to have those long times of prayer. And I've actually I used to pray longer and read longer to I went to the middle portion where I stopped praying long and reading long, but I thought about God all day long. And that was in many ways better. But now I'm getting more back to the point where, okay, now I'm thinking about God more throughout the day, and I really need to spend that like good amount of time with him per day too, just in the quiet place. So that's the goal. All right. These are great questions. Don't know if the last one is going to come in. Did we miss anything? I think we have not missed anything. Okay, cool, guys. That's those were some good questions, quality questions, premium questions. Yeah, so today's time's a little short because I need to do a lot of stuff, guys. I have to pack from this studio. Got to pack up the studio with the team. You know, we have a lot of stuff to move, a lot of gear, and my personal things too. I also live in my studio, so it's a room/studio. So I live in the studio and we work in the studio. So I got to pack up all my clothes. I got to throw out stuff. I have to put stuff in boxes and do all that by tomorrow. And then Thursday, I got to move as much as possible on Thursday. That's the goal. So yeah, just keep us in prayer. A lot of good things. We had to rush out to Monterey this morning because I just on my way home last night from our condo, which is in North San Jose, and I was coming home here to Belmont. Somehow as a thought popped in, I believe it was God helping me out. Just like the idea of marriage license just came in my mind, like something about marriage license. I was like, wait a minute, we don't have our marriage license, and I've known about the process before. It's typically really easy. You just go in and you can get it in the same day. But because of COVID, everywhere in the Bay Area right now is like a 4 to 6 week wait, and you need that certificate at your ceremony. And so we had forgotten about it, and Monterey was the only place doing it where you could just kind of do it in the same day. And so we got up really early in the morning, and we drove down to Monterey, and we got it. And so praise God. I really feel like that just made me feel like, okay, it really is our wedding week, because things like that will happen where like you're sleep deprived, something doesn't go right, but somehow it gets fixed, and God is gracious. So yeah, keep us in prayer, guys. Keep me in prayer. And I really do want to see you guys come to the wedding. So please come to the wedding. Quick announcement. Let me head over to our curtain. Quick announcement. Discipleship starts this week. Okay, so my class, we will start tomorrow at 4:30. The link, I'm pretty sure it's Mosaic P. Paul. So tinyurl.com/Mosaic P. Paul. And then T. Dan's discipleship class also starts this week, Thursday. I want to say it was 7 o'clock. And that class starts this week. And the link for that is tinyurl.com/Mosaic T. Dan. Okay, and so let's go to our discipleship classes this week, guys. Let's start strong. They're not going to be forever, and so whatever the length is that was set at the beginning of the class, just be committed to that, and go hard in there, okay? And don't leave any, as Jesse brought up, don't have any regrets about how you do it, okay? All right, so we're kind of backed up a little bit on the giveaways. I believe 2 of the people who've won so far, I don't think you've gotten your things yet. And so if you want your things, you just got to tell me, okay? Other than that, ooh, careful, Kristen. Okay, careful with putting numbers in the chat. Maybe erase it like within like the next 30 seconds after someone copies it. Okay. What was I gonna say? Where was I? My brain isn't working. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the giveaway. Okay. So what we'll do another giveaway today, but if it's a repeat, other than anyone from like the last 2 weeks, just take your boba, okay? Take your boba and be happy, all right? Okay, here's the DJ Puppers with that drum roll. What? DJ Puppers. That wasn't a drum roll. There it is. Okay, and the winner is, for today, it is, come on, Nightbot. Help us out here. It is? That's crazy. He just said, please not me, and then it picked Justin. So that's hilarious. Justin, are you eligible again? I mean, if you're eligible again, you got to just take it, okay? At this point, but if you're not eligible, if you didn't get something in the last few weeks, then don't take it. I do feel like maybe yeah, Nightbot is choosing people who chat the most. So we're gonna figure out maybe next week with the production team. We'll do another method that doesn't so heavy. It's not so heavy on the chat frequency. Okay. All right. Are we good? Are we good, Justin? Thumbs up. If you want to, Justin, you could ask me to send it to someone else, and maybe we'll do it like that. So when you're a repeat winner, if you want to get it again, you can. If I say you can, if not, I'll let you choose who you want to send it to. Okay. So anyone else who hasn't, who has not won, or who did win rather, is what I mean, recently, and you did not get your boba, just message me. Okay. So either text, Instagram, email, whatever kind of communication, just let me know, okay? Because if you forget about it, then I'm not going to remind you, okay? You have to remind me, all right? So that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Short and sweet. Next week, there won't be an Afternoons with Pastor Paul because I'm going to be on my mini moon. Mini moon is just a very short honeymoon, and so we're going to have a short honeymoon. Maybe we'll have a real one day. We hope so, but no guarantees. But anyway, yep, go check out that article on People magazine if you want to read more about just everything about, yeah. Okay. All right. Here's Dog Announcer once again with his sign off. So see you guys. Okay. Thank you guys for coming out today to the show. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Congratulations to Justin. I know you've won quite often, but you can go ahead and pick somebody to win instead of you. That will be all for today. Hope to see you guys at the wedding. Dog Announcer, that's me, and DJ Puppers, we will also be there at the wedding. And so God bless you guys. We love you. Bye-bye.